for Mad Dog's Messy Desk.
We are queued up. We have sound speed. Transmitters? We don't need no stinking transmitters. Mad Dog, Messy Desk, on the deck. Well, hi, and welcome to Mad Dog's Messy Desk. This is MD64, the video edition, and today I'm going to show you a few things that are useful for somebody who's just had hip replacement surgery. A couple of things I've learned that I thought I'd pass on and might be helpful to people. I'm going to show you some things that aren't so good and some things that are really good, and I'll show you briefly how to use them, and we're going to go from there. Now, I'm filming this myself, all with a webcam, so please excuse perhaps some of the not so good video. So let's go on, and we're going to start off with a few of the items that I find useful and not useful for people who have just had hip surgery. And really the main thing is how do you dress yourself, and in particular those nasty socks that they have you wear. So we're gonna stop the cam for a second, and okay. Basically, when you have hip surgery, in my case replacement, three things you can't do. You cannot bend more than 90 degrees with your hip, which means you can't put your shoes on, your socks on, any of that kind of stuff very easily. You're not supposed to cross your legs, and you're not supposed to turn your toes inward on the operated leg. To that end, one of the first things you'll find you're going to need, other than pain medicine, is reachers. Things that you drop something on the floor, you can't bend over because it's more than 90 degrees to get it. You can't do it, so you've got to have reachers. Now, I found several different versions of them. This one in particular is what they call a pick stick, and I found this to be the best. I also bought one of these, which is okay. It's got a little magnet on here to pick up something magnetic, and it will pick up certain items off the floor. However, the grip is not very strong. The wire, actually, it's a piece of string that goes in here from here to here, and it gives a lot, so it really can't pick up a lot. I mean, it could pick up paper, a sock, something like that, but I would stay away from these. I've found that they just they're not strong enough to do you much good. So this would be my recommendation. They make them in, this is a 2-foot version, and they make them in 4-foot versions, and it's a really tight. I'm not certain, but I suspect there's a piece of metal that goes from here to here. It'll pick up anything. And I've got this in a 2-foot and a 4-foot version, and they work very well. And I'll put the link, the Amazon link where you can buy these, on my website at 10rats.com, so you can easily find those. As far as those are the best, in my opinion. This is the best right here. Second thing, you'll find you'll have a problem putting clothes on, and you need things to reach down and grab your pants, your underwear, your socks, all sorts of things. Now, I found two different things out there. One's better than the other. This is one that you see quite commonly. It's about 2 foot long. It's got a hook on one end, a piece of wood in the middle, and this little vinyl coated thing on the end. And it's good for reaching things, pulling up socks, pants, all sorts of things. However, I found this one over here to be much better. It's about 2 foot long. It's a reacher, pretty much like that. It's got little hooks on it for hooking your clothes and your socks and your pants. It's got an area where you can push if you've got to push a shoe off or push something else. Really good for grabbing. And on the other end is an essential tool. It is a shoe horn. You will need one. Either this one or one a little longer. I also have a 4-foot version, or I think it's 3-foot version that I use. It's made with a wood stick, and that works good too when you're standing up. But this one is great. It's got a little notch in it where you put it on the back of your heel and you push your shoe off. You'll see me use this in just a little bit. This is essential. I bought a couple of these. I've got them around the house. The other item, and I'm going to show you how I use all these items in just a little bit. During surgery, they have you, when you wake up from surgery, they put on these silly stockings. They're extremely difficult to put on. My wife, when we first got home, busted a blood vessel in her eye trying to get these on me, because she was working for them for like 15 minutes trying to get them on my foot. They're nearly frickin' impossible to put on, which is why I did some research and I found a device that works extremely well, and I want to share that with you. A real problem with these is the heel. If you can get the sock over your heel, you're in business. But if you can't do that, they're almost impossible, to do by yourself. I have found an item here, and I'm going to show you how to use this, and I will also include the link on my website at 10rats.com in the show notes for this episode. This is invaluable. Buy one. You will use it. It comes in 2 parts, this and this, and I'm going to show you how to use this. The other thing which is an essential tool, believe it or not, is a pair of pliers. These are, again, I bought these at Amazon. I'll include the link. Extra long pliers. Now, you're saying, what the heck are these for? Well, you know what? You can't bend over 90 degrees with a hip replacement, at least not for several months. Putting your shoes on, you need this and you need this. The problem with most shoes, now I wear basically old running shoes like 90% of the public wears these days. You try to put your shoes on and you're pushing your foot in there and the tongue of your shoe falls in. And when that happens, 1, it's very uncomfortable, and 2, it makes a much tighter fit and it's hard to get on. So you need these to be able to bend, to reach the tongue of your shoe to pull it up, because you can't bend over more than 90 degrees to do that. So you can't really do that yourself. You need these. Okay. That's my discussion. Now we're going to go to the demonstration portion of the show. We're going to stop the video and we're going to start with a demonstration of the sock putter-oner. Actually, it is called the Easy On, Easy Off Sock Aid Kit. It comes in 2 parts, this part and this part. And I'll show you what this is used for in a little bit. But I'm going to give you a brief demonstration on how to put a regular sock on, and then the ultimate evil, the silly stretch socks that they make you put on so that you don't get blood clots. But first, I'm going to show you how this works. You take a regular sock. Now they make sock aids like this. These work okay for stockings, for regular socks, but they do not work for anything else but. So I want to show you this, because this is, when I found this, I was so excited because, 1, my wife had damaged her eye, and well, of course, dummy starts off wrong. Take it like this, and put the sock in, and you basically wind it up like this, and pull it up, pull it up, pull it up, and you're looking to get the heel right here in the middle. Okay, and then you take this thing, which is what it's for, to get it on the ground, and I'll show you. This is so you don't have to bend over. Okay, and it's real useful. So basically, you stand up, put your foot in it, you push down and around, and you're up. Then you can take this thing, so you don't have to bend over, and you pull it up. Then, of course, it's not quite on, so I take my grabbers and I'll basically pull it up with that, which is why this is a really useful device. Helps you pull it up. I get exceptionally annoyed when my sock is not real high, but that's how that one works. Okay, let's move on to the evil stretch sock that they make you wear when you come out. These, again, these will frustrate the heck out of you, even if you've got someone to help you. You know, and like I said, I had someone to help me, and it was a real problem. So I found this. I'm going to show you how this works. It's the same thing. You take the sock, you put it in the little valley here, and you basically pull it up, pull it down over, and the trick on these is the heel. When you see the heel come up here, you want to make sure it's right at the bottom, and then you pull it further, a little further, a little further. I like to pull them almost all the way up so you can basically see the hole in the sock. Alright, so here's the trick with these is okay. It's a little more difficult than the regular socks, but it does work. And you may have to grab onto your walker or something like that. But you see how it's going on? And I'm getting my heel right where it needs to be. And they're on. Very simple. So basically the hard part of this is already done. There it is. Okay. Now, it is helpful if you have somebody else, but then you can, making sure you keep your leg at less than a 90 degree when you bend over to reach this far, you can pull them up the rest of the way. And that's that. Believe me, we used to spend 10-15 minutes trying to get these on by yourself. This thing is invaluable. You will want to get one of these. I'll include the link at 10rats.com so you can find it in the show notes for MD64, I believe it is. All right, let's. Oh, I forgot to tell you how to get the socks off. Again, this is part of that easy on, easy off sock aid, and that's what this thing is for. It's basically, you can use it on these socks or any other socks. You take it and you put it right behind the sock and you push. This way you don't have to bend over. You don't have to break that 90-degree rule, and just take them right off. Works reasonably well. A lot easier with regular socks. These are pretty hard to come off, but it works. It works, and that's what it's for. There. And of course, it's on the ground. I can't reach it, so I'm using my grabber. Don't bend past 90 degrees. Okay, and now the last little bit I'm going to talk to you about is how to put a shoe on. Again, if I could bend over and untie this, that's the other problem. Once with shoes, you almost got to leave them tied. They make Velcro shoes, but you know what? I have found they have like 2 straps of Velcro. They're never tight enough. Whenever you walk in them, the heel moves up and down and up and down, and it's not good for the back of your foot. Ends up rubbing the skin right off for me. So generally I leave these tied. They're a little looser than normal, but when it comes to putting them on, that's a problem for somebody with a hip replacement. You can't bend over. I can't bend over to reach to do anything, so you've got to do it by remote. So here's the shoehorn and dressing device that I told you about. And generally what I do, and the problem I have, again, you get this in here in the back, and start pushing, and as you do that, you're going to realize that your tongue of your shoe is starting to push forward. And by the time you get your shoe on, your tongue's about 2 inches farther forward, and it's exceptionally annoying, and it makes it tighter. So you take the handy dandy super long needle nose pliers, and you use that to pull up there. Did you see that came up about 1 inch? And now it's a lot more comfortable, and it's not quite as tight. These are essential for putting shoes on. Buy a pair. I'll have a link in the show notes. I bought all this stuff at Amazon. Best place to buy. Well, that's my demonstrations. Some really useful items, which I think if you've had hip surgery, you may find extremely useful. It took me a while to find them, so I thought I'd make a video on trying to make it a little easier on somebody else. The items are called the Easy On, Easy Off Sock Aid Kit, and it's sold by Vercellus Health. And the other other item for clothing, which I found much better. Gee, I don't have the name for this. This is the dressing stick. And I'll have a link for you on Amazon on that one. And the best reachers that I've found are called the Pro Aluminum Mobility Reacher. And I found that on Amazon also. And I'll leave links for that. I mean, the other things you got to have, you're going to end up using a walker for at least a few weeks, if not a month. And the other thing is, you got 2 levels on a house. You're going to want one on every level. That's about it, I guess. A few other essentials I found, of course, a back scratcher. Got to have a back scratcher. What else? I guess that's about it. A bunch of canes. You're going to need some canes eventually. Stick with it. The first couple, 2-3 weeks is a real pain. Been through it. Still going through it right now. I'm about 3.5 weeks out from surgery, and I'm getting reasonably mobile. So, you know, if you're doing the surgery soon, be aware the first few weeks are really difficult. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's my Mad Dog's Messy Desk video edition, post-surgery demonstration. Hope you all have a great morning, evening, or afternoon. So long.
Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Mad Dog's Messy Desk. Any comments or questions, you can contact me at maddogsmessydesk@hotmail.com. Most of the music provided by Mevio.com. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes. Go to the iTunes store and in the search box type in 10rats.com. That's 10rats.com in the search box. Till next time, find your common sense and use it. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Watch out for the morons, they're everywhere.
Now it is time for you to go away.